The following is a special presentation of ESPN on ABC.
In their 50-game history, the Florida State contest has been legendary as any college rivalry. It has had its share of dramatic moments.
Touchdown, PK Sam!
National title hopes have been dashed.
Quincy Green down at the 18-yard line. Hands it off to Taylor, left side, inside the end zone. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown!
And champions have been crowned.
And the tip, the flat, he's in! Touchdown! Oh, my! And the Gators have won the national championship!
In this edition, for one team, a season can be saved. For another, a shot at the national title. Bragging rights and pride are on the line. Florida State now. And we welcome you to Rivalry Week, presented by Remington. We're at Bobby Bowden Field, Doak Campbell Stadium, the campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee. ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy. The number 4 Gators take on the Florida State Seminoles. This is the BCS standing story. Ohio State, Michigan are done. USC plays Notre Dame tonight. Florida, yes, they still have a chance. They win today, they win next week in the conference championship, and they hope for a little help, and maybe they could get to that championship game. Welcome, everybody, with Andre Ware, Todd Harris. I'm Gary Thorne. Delighted to have you with us for this great rivalry. You saw the BCS standings. Yeah. What do you think?
I think USC kind of is in the driver's seat in this deal. They went out, they play for the national championship against Ohio State. If they slip in the next 2 weeks, then I think it's going to take something uncharacteristic of college football to get Florida into that national championship game. They've got to leapfrog Michigan, who's sitting at home just kind of waiting. I think that's the rematch that happens, provided USC stumbles.
All right, Florida knows if they're going to get there and get themselves a chance, they've got to win this great rivalry game. If they're going to win, it's all about their QBs.
Yeah, 2 quarterbacks, 2 different styles. Chris Leak basically going to break every passing record at Florida before it's all said and done, before he finishes. When he's in the football game, they'll be in a pro-style 2-back tight end type sets. When Tim Tebow comes in, it's a totally different style. More of a runner, a big physical presence at the quarterback position. Second on the entire football team in rushing. He looks up to contact, Gary.
We're going to see a lot of quarterbacks in this game today. It has been a tumultuous season for Florida State, not a good one. One of the worst they've had record-wise in a long time. They win today, though, and a lot of that is forgotten. It's about pride.
Yeah, it is. And talking with their seniors, they came together this week. Buster Davis, Chris Davis, and then Lorenzo Booker, their fantastic runner. It's about pride. It's about protecting your home field. They feel like, as a senior class, if they can pull this one off today against Florida, ranked number 4 in the country, this may salvage the season for the Seminoles.
That's what Bobby Bowden has said. It is about salvaging. You don't hear that from Florida State very often, but that's the case here today. They've got a shot. Don't kid yourself. They have talent. When we come back, this great rivalry, the 51st time. Now, John, CJ, and Doug.
Gary, thanks a lot. Here with Craig James and Doug Flutie. The last test for Florida before the SEC championship game against Arkansas. Florida State has been terrible this year. Any chance they can trip them up?
Well, I think you would use the word the last opportunity for Florida State, right? This is a last chance for these guys to go on the field and redeem themselves. And what better way to do that than to spoil and ruin the year for Florida? The Gators have a lot of pressure on them. They have to have style points in this game. We're all watching to see how good they are. Right now, everybody's saying it's Notre Dame, USC that's going to get the shot at the national title, but Florida needs a shot too.
They have a legitimate shot. They still need to win out and all that. But I'll tell you what, offensively, Drew Weatherford back at quarterback, Jeff Bowden, his last opportunity to show off, let the reins loose and throw the football all over the place. But if Florida State didn't have it against Wake, I don't think they're going to have it against Florida.
The one that we know will have something to do with the national championship will be seen tonight here on ABC, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Notre Dame facing USC. If USC wins this game, then beats UCLA, most experts feel they're going to jump past Michigan and face Ohio State State in the national championship
You're
game.
saying we're not experts?
I think you agree.
There you go. We're in the game, Doug. All right, I agree. If USC wins out, as an expert, I think that'd put them in the national championship.
I think it will too. I think it will too. We were talking Michigan big time. If they slip up, it's Michigan, but USC controls their own destiny.
And John David Booty should be able to pass for about 1,000 yards against that secondary. Coming up, it's Florida and Florida State. After these messages and a word from our ABC station.
You're watching ESPN on ABC.
You talk about a beautiful day for football. The Seminoles are ready to go. It is a clear blue sky. Florida State on their home turf here at Doak Campbell Stadium. Renegade. And I'll tell you, it is a great show. All rivalries.
Yeah.
It's not only what goes on the field, but you end up with a great show that goes along with it. Both bands just cleared the field with hundreds of band members joined together and performed the national anthem. Both teams doing that. A young coach who's making a name for himself with Todd Harris. Todd?
Coach Meyer, you've been around some great rivalries, Toledo, Bowling Green, Utah, BYU. What does the Florida State game mean to the folks in the state?
Well, I was educated on it last year. This is an intense rivalry. I think the 90s really made it a national rivalry. It's always been very intense local, but the 90s made it a national rivalry.
What are your thoughts on your team making it to the national championship game this season?
We got a very talented team we're playing today, and I made some comments earlier in the week, but we got to take care of our business, and we're facing as talented team as there is in the country.
And your thoughts on the current BCS system?
Well, I think it's the best of what's available, but right now we got to worry about what we got to worry about.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Urban Meyer hoping that it all begins here today. If you don't take care of business here, you don't get it done. It is the 51st meeting going back to 1958. They have played at least one game against each other every year since then. Florida leads the series. Florida State 7-1-1 at home since '86. Their last meeting, Tallahassee, Florida, with a 2013 win.
Yeah, you mentioned dropped the last one at Tallahassee, but 7-1-1 here, at home against Florida. So we're here today, and I expect a fantastic football game from the Seminoles.
This is what makes the day for Florida State. During our football game here today, we will take a look. Notre Dame USC preview, that is coming up, obviously with BCS implications all over the place. It'll be tonight, ABC at 8 o'clock. Ohio State, Michigan. Is it going to be a rematch? We'll talk about that during our game today. And what about these rivalry games and the effect not only on national standings, but the effect rivalry games have on the program? This is where you claim your ground.
One of college football's all-time scenes right here. Chief Osceola riding in on Renegade and planting the sword. Give me the spear here. Nice.
This is senior day, so all of the seniors were introduced. It will be their last game here at home. There is the planting of that torch, which is the great tradition here at Florida State. And the other great tradition way of rivalries is, God forbid, if the other team ends up stepping on the logo at the 50-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
We end up with a hockey brouhaha if that happens. It didn't happen. They protected it. You'll see the chop going all day here from the Florida State fans. And then the Gators, of course, will have their hands going the other way with the Gator bite. You'll see both today. Let's take a look at the players we're going to see in this game who matter. We talked about for Florida State, quarterback situation. You're going to see both of them play.
Well, both have struggled in the last 3 games. You see the stats there. And Drew Weatherford will start the football game. He'll give way to Xavier Lee, who Coach Bowden feels like plays a little bit better coming off the bench. Not starting, but bring him in, kind of massage him into the football game.
Both of those players appeared in the last 3 games. Weatherford has been the starter, the winningest coach in Division I college football. The 31st season at Florida State, his 41st year. Bobby Bowden, 365 wins. A tumultuous season that this past week saw his son resign, his contract bought out. The offensive coordinator is his son, Jeff. We will talk about that today. However, his son will finish as the offensive coordinator through the bowl game now, not just through this game, but through the bowl game, whatever it is they're going to play. Jeff will be sitting up in the booth and will be one of the 2 deciding the offensive plays today.
Yeah, tough on the Bowden family with Jeff Bowden, their offensive coordinator, resigning this week. And but you look at this Florida State program, 25 straight years of a bowl game, and talking with Coach Bowden, he said this is what kids come to Florida State for. They come here to play in rivalry games like this against Florida and Miami and other big games that you play on the schedule at Florida State.
Boy, does he want this one just to take some of that criticism level down that has been around him and his club this season. Florida won the toss. They have deferred. Florida State's going to receive. Now a kick will be taken at the 4-yard line. Garvin's got it. He'll bring it up to the 15, to the 20. Good return. All the way up to the 27-yard line. Nice return by Michael Ray. Garvin, the sophomore, averages 21 yards on the return. Let's take a look at the offense for Florida State. Drew Weatherford will be the starter. How long he stays depends on how he plays.
That's how he performs early. And then you look at that big offensive line. They've struggled a little bit, been kind of criticized for not being physical enough. John Frady's the guy, the best guy up front for Florida State. He's the guy that makes all the calls in the middle.
All right, let's see how it's won. Lorenzo Booker's one of the seniors, number 28. He will be one of the tailbacks in there. He is hoping for one of the best days he has ever had in this football game to wrap it up at home. Looking to the left side, Flats 30-yard line, and a big-time hit by Reggie Nelson. You're going to hear his name a lot. Dakota Fagg hauled it in, but Nelson was right there to put the tackle on. This is a great defense. Scoring-wise, the 5th fewest points surrendered in the nation.
Yeah, and it's a secondary that's going to be tested throughout this ball game, especially out on the edges. Reggie Lewis and Ryan Smith, who leads the football team with 6 interceptions after transferring in from Utah, but they will be tested. Florida State feels like they've got the advantage on the outside.
It is a 2nd down and 5, ball at the 31-yard line. Weatherford working out of that gun. Booker out of the backfield. Gets to the line of scrimmage, maybe not. Going to be driven back by Steve Harris, a senior defensive end, who put the hit on Lorenzo Booker.
Well, Lorenzo Booker has had it tough this year, only 464 yards coming into this football game, but he's the senior captain of the offense and really gathered the guys around and said, hey, this is our chance to really kind of put a stamp on our way out of here, and he wants to have an outstanding ball game against their interstate rival.
First big 3rd down and 5. They are only 35% this year in 3rd down conversions, and in the last 2 games, 2 for 24. That is not good. Weatherford out of the shotgun, low snap, picks it up, gets the rush, dumps it off, completed. That is going to be a fumble at the 30. And still loose. That ball is loose. That ball is loose. Down to the 20, the 15, the 10, and to the 1-yard line. The players stopped playing, but Brandon Seiler realized that there had been no whistle. That ball was caught, fumble, no whistle, and he takes it down to the 1. Dakota Fagg had a reception and then coughed the football up. And we're going to get a review on this.
Well, it's Dakota Fagg kind of running a little drag route across the middle against man-to-man coverage, and you got to put the football away. Excellent job of coming in, kind of stripping the football by Tony Joyner. And this, Gary, is why you play until you hear the whistle. You don't know, you can't take for granted that a play has been stopped or it's been downed. And right here, Dakota Fagg's right. It looks like he doesn't have possession. I wouldn't be surprised if this one's overturned. I didn't think he had it put away and secured. You see the hand right there, one hand grab, bringing it in, kind of trying to put it away. You see the ball still moving around, and then it comes out. I'm thinking that's an incomplete pass.
I agree with you. But as you said, there was no whistle on that. The officials had ruled on the field that it was a completed pass and a fumble. That was the ruling on the field. So now in the review upstairs, there's got to be indisputable evidence.
I think there is.
That it was not caught.
It was still being juggled around, and once they take a look at this, he never secured the football, never put it away and to turn up the field or to make an athletic play, and then the football comes out. I really think this one's going to be overturned.
Yeah, 2 coaches taking a look. The review upstairs will get all of the angles that you have seen. They're looking at the same pictures that you are. Does he control the football here?
You see,
there's indisputable video evidence the pass was incomplete.
There you go. That's why they use it. There's Ron Cherry, the referee from the ACC. Florida State, of course, out of the ACC. They've won 3, lost 5 in conference play. SEC for Florida.
Yeah, one more look at it. You see the one-hand snag right here, and then Tony Joyner's going to show up just in time to where Dakota Fagg doesn't have an opportunity to tuck that football away.
That is a very big call.
Big call for Florida State.
That ball was going to be down on the 1-yard line. Gano is back to do the kicking from the 20, and he just gets rid of it. A boomer, fair catch called for at the 25-yard line. Brandon James on the fair catch. Great punt. 44-yard punt under pressure. No return. And now Florida's going to get the football. And we'll have a chance to see their dual quarterback situation. Starting lineups presented by Outback Steakhouse. Chris Leak, the veteran starter out of Charlotte, North Carolina, will be leading the charge.
And they'll come out throwing the football and throw it throughout this ball game. Left tackle Phil Troutwine, their best player up front, most consistent player on the offensive line when you talk to the Florida coaching staff.
Deshaun Wynn, number 21, will be the running back. They'll overload it to the right side on a 1st and 10 for Florida. A lot of Florida fans on hand here at Florida State. That ball almost got loose. At the 25-yard line, there'll be no gain. Gino Hayes moved in and put the hit on Wynn. Defensively, a very big test for Florida State, whether they can shut down this offensive Florida.
And it'll be a big test in the secondary for Florida State. Tony Carter, Roger Williams, and you talk about the guys on the outside, on the edges. They will be tested throughout this ball game. They're very, very thin in the secondary at Florida State.
Outback Steakhouse presenting our starting look right there. It is a 2nd down and 8. Chris Leak, his 49th game that he has played in for Florida out of the shotgun, went on the carry line of scrimmage, and there is nowhere to go. This team is 38th in rushing and 26th in passing. They try and keep it a little bit balanced in the course of a football game.
You know, when you watch Florida State on defense last week against Western Michigan, maybe had some trouble fighting off blocks, the big guys up front. You could tell this is a rivalry game because they're in the trenches and right now holding their own against a decent Florida offensive line.
Gino Hayes out of that middle linebacker position. 2 early plays. Here's a big 3rd down and 8. 3rd down and 8. 46% conversion rate on 3rd down. Leak from the 20, looking deep, had time to the 33rd. That'll be a 1st down up to the 42, 43-yard line. That is Cornelius, Jamel Cornelius, a 15-yard gain and a 1st down. Let's check in with Matt Weiner. Matt.
Gary, here's a Taco Bell update from Clemson, where the Tigers and South Carolina are meeting for the 98th straight year. Clemson on top earlier. Will Proctor, Jacoby Ford, nobody there, and he'll wind his way 76 yards for the touchdown. Tigers up early 7-0.
These great rivalry games going on today. A 1st down and 10 for Florida. From the 43-yard line, rolls near side, completed at the 45 midfield and into Florida State territory. Andre Caldwell, a junior, is 45th reception of the year, 9-yard gain. Timmons put the hit on.
Boy, I tell you, the thing you like about Chris Leak is his ability just to get the football out on time, recognizes defenses, and you see here, Andre Caldwell outflanks the defense. You're just a step or two outside the end man on the defensive side of the football field. Get him the football in space and allow him to make plays with his legs.
Leak has thrown for 19 touchdowns, been intercepted 11 times, 64% completion rate. A 2nd down, short yardage, 2nd down and 1 in Florida State territory. On the option, Leak will pitch. It'll be 45-40. And a great drive down to the 32-yard line. Percy Harvin, a #1 prospect described by his coach as explosive, gets a 17-yard gain and limps a little bit after being driven out of bounds.
Yeah, he's the speed element. When they put him in the backfield, you see it right here. This is the guy you're going to option off, and he shows his commitment to the quarterback. Chris Leak recognizes it, and now it's Percy Harvin out in the open field. All the blockers up front, and just the speed right now, turning it on to pick up the 1st down.
Now Tebow has come into quarterback. Tim Tebow has replaced Leak here. On this 1st down, the left-hander going down the sideline, bumping a little bit. There's a flag down. Looks like an interference call as Dallas Baker Their leading receiver with 49 catches was in a battle with Jamie Robinson.
Well, you watch Florida, they have begun to get Tim Tebow involved in the football game earlier and earlier as this season progresses. And, boy, they really like the youngster.
Why would you do that here? You've got a drive. Weatherford's going well. He started the game. Then all of a sudden on a first down, you bring in the second quarterback.
Yeah, and then right now coming back in the football game is Chris Leak.
Now, Leak may have...
Defense number 10. 10 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
May have just gotten himself shaken up on the option play, but he's right back. Looked like he was checking back in the football game. I think he's back in the huddle now. So, you know, I'm not a fan of two quarterback systems. Really not. I think it's one guy the team identifies with one quarterback, but I think the reason why Florida is able to get by with it is Chris Leak's a senior, Tim Tebow's a freshman, a true freshman, and there's a respect factor that's involved.
Chris Leak is again in at quarterback. On this drive by Florida, they come back against the grain, carried to the 21. That again is Percy Harvin out of Virginia Beach, only a freshman at 5'11". Take a look at our IBM Star Watch. Here are the two we're talking about. Florida, Chris Leak, Tim Tebow.
Yeah, two different styles. Chris Leak, more the classic pocket passer. Tim Tebow's going to run around with it. They have what they call the Tebow package where he comes in. They'll go to the old wing T, and he'll come in basically just to run the football. Second leading rusher on this Florida football team.
It is a second down and 10. Harvin, the youngster, remains in, comes as a receiver to the near side. Chris Leak going up and down the line of scrimmage, maybe inaudible. Goes into the gun on the second down play, moves us back to the near side. Wanted an option, didn't have any room. And he'll be taken down near the line of scrimmage at the 22-yard line. That was an option play that Timmons read and made the tackle.
Boy, this is big for Florida State if they're able to hold Florida to a field goal attempt here. But you see all the bodies in the middle, and Florida State known for their speed. They get outside leverage, forcing Chris Leak back inside, and then Lawrence Timmons, the outside linebacker, there to clean things up. But make my point, they hold on third down here. Chris Hedlund is only 3 of 10 in field goal attempts, so it's an adventure for the Florida Gators when they line up to kick a field goal.
Third down and 9. Third down and 9. They'll move again into the gun. Leak, quarterback wants a timeout. Didn't like what he saw, so he will use one of the timeouts here. The Gators have scored on their first drive 6 times this year. Can they get it done here? Going to find out when we come back to Tallahassee. 51st meeting gets off to a big bang start. What looked like a fumble was going to get Florida the ball at the 1 on the replay. Overruled, incomplete pass. Florida has continued their drive here after taking a good punt, working from their own territory with it. Now it's third down and 9. Wynn is the receiver way out on the right side. He's their running back, working as a wide receiver in this third and long yardage.
Yeah, and they showed blitz before, which caused Chris Leak to call the timeout. They're lining up again, but looks like they're going to back out of it and play zone coverage.
Leak out of the gun, looking, gets the rush, drops it near side. That'll be incomplete at the 15-yard line, and good.